Okay, we're live.
Okay. Hi, members. Welcome to our second installment of Tip of the Week. Today we're going to be talking about pitching and chipping the golf ball when you're around the green. Kyle Dobbs is here with me, and Kyle's going to demonstrate some of the differences and some of the similarities between pitching and chipping the golf ball.
Well, thanks, Jim. You know, we're now in week 2 for Tip of the Week, and it's been really nice to get all the feedback that we've had. I think a lot of the members are enjoying the videos, and today we're going to put a video together, and as I look around the short game area, I know it's not our members, but it's their guests. They're making a lot of really deep divots around the practice area, because I know our members would never do that. But today we're going to talk about a technique to not only make sure that we're going to save a few shots on the golf course, but these clubs are now designed where we don't have to take deep divots around the green. So we're going to differentiate the difference between a chip and a pitch. It's pretty simple, isn't it?
That's great, Kyle. And a couple of things. And when you miss that approach shot into the green, we're around the green maybe 5 or 6 times in a round. And if you can get up and down from that position, whether by pitching it or chipping it close enough to make an easy par putt, that's going to save you many strokes off your score.
Absolutely. So to start off, to define the difference between a chip and a pitch, I like to think of a chip shot as something that's lower to the ground. Sometimes you hear the comment bump and run, and that's what the chip shot's going to be. The pitch shot, you're going to kind of pitch it over something, and there's an element of air underneath it. And our setup is totally different from a chip to a pitch, but today we're going to try to make it as easy as possible to not only differentiate between the two, but how to choose which one to hit in what situation.
That's right, Kyle. And with all the new bunkering that we put around the greens, there's going to be a lot of times when you either short-sided yourself from the pin, or you hit it to the left or right of the green and you have to go over something, and that's when we'll pitch the ball.
Sounds great.
Go ahead, Kyle. Let's see you hit a few shots.
So I'm going to start off with a basic, just bump and run, call it a chip shot. To make it as simple as possible, we want to make sure that our golf ball is low. It's not having an element of air. So I've actually got a 8-iron here. I'm going to make sure that my feet are closer together. And not only that, but I'm actually standing fairly close to the golf ball as well. So I am only about 1, 2, 3, could go 4 club head distances away. So I like to think of my right foot points at the ball, my hands are off my left leg, and then from here, it's a putting stroke. See how short and simple that was? It's not a big swing, and it comes off pretty easy. I didn't make that, did I?
No, but you're within 4 feet of the cup, so you can probably get over that short putt that we learned last week with our tip and make that putt.
And then how do we save shots? By getting up and down, right?
Correct. And that's a perfect example of you missing the green by, let's say, 15, 20 feet, but you're in a shortly mown area, and you can then chip it up there and get it close.
So let's see if we can get a little bit closer and see if we can maybe knock one in. So again, I've got my feet close together. I like to think of my right foot or my back foot points at the ball, and my hands are off my front leg, and then from here, I just putt it. Oh, that's closer still.
That's much closer.
That might have a chance to go in.
A couple more feet and it was in the hole.
Well, let's go on to the pitch shot.
Okay, Kyle, let's move you into the rough now. Okay? So you're behind that bunker and pitching it up over the bunker, having it land on the green and release to the hole.
We might need to move the camera just a few feet closer. But so now we're getting into a different shot. So if I were to hit the bump and run, I would bump it into the hill. I'd bump it into the long grass. I'd bump it into the bunker. That's not an option right now. So I have to get this ball not only over the hill, out of the thick rough, but over the bunker. So it requires a completely different shot. So when we're hitting a regular golf shot, And we have our feet apart and we're turning the body. We're moving our hands. So I've got a sand wedge for the height. A pitch shot, it's a mini golf swing. So I like to have the golf ball right in the middle, feet about shoulders width apart. And I set up as if I'm going to hit a regular shot. Now the difference is going to be this. I don't want to just brush the grass. I want to hear a little bit of a thump. I want to make sure that I'm catching a little bit of ground, because have we ever seen one of our playing partners send the golf ball skating across the other side of the green? That's because they didn't get underneath it. In the way that these wedges are designed today, the bounce that's on them, we don't need to do anything fancy. The club allows us to swing, and the club does all the work for us. So to make it simple, it's a regular setup. Notice I'm not standing close and I don't have my feet close together. And I just put a mini golf swing on it with a thumb. That looks pretty good there too.
It does. Right at it.
Right on
about
line.
5 feet short. I think that was really good. And one other thing that Kyle is trying to do is, as he gets it up, he still doesn't have a lot of room to work with before the pin. Out of the rough, the ball does not spin as much, and that's why he's got such a high lofted club, so we can send it higher, and when it lands, it will not release as far as if he had, let's say, a 9-iron or a pitching wedge or even a gap wedge in his hand.
You know, you make a great point, Jim, because for so long, people have been afraid to use a lob wedge or a 60 degree, but today with the technology that we have, in fact, the new SM10 Titleist wedges just came out this year. They're great. They've got a big sole on them, a little bit more weight in the hosel on top to get the ball up into the air. And the only thing you have to do these days is swing. It's when you try to help the ball or you try to do something special that we get into trouble. So I'm going to let the club do all the work for me. I set up with my regular stance, thump the ground, and watch that ball release right next to the cup.
Nice, Kyle. Well, Kyle, thank you so much. I think that demonstration was great for our members. That was part 2, and we're looking forward to continuing this for the next 15 weeks.
Thanks, Jim. A lot of fun today.
Awesome.
Appreciate you.